Hello and welcome. This is Team ML submission for CMPT 732, Storytelling with Data. We are going to be looking at mental health through the data lens. Based on our research with relevant literature, we find that 70% of individuals refuse to seek help because of the societal stigma associated with having mental health issues or disorders. And this solution typically involves building anti stigma and awareness campaigns and programs. Currently, these campaigns are limited by statistical data and statistical analysis, and this is why we propose a data driven approach. We will be using advanced data mining and data engineering using machine learning, big data tools, and natural language processing. Our objective is to present to stakeholders a combination of inferential and descriptive analysis on the prevalence of these mental health issues across countries and the infrastructure available to support them, along with introducing them to how we can derive um, underlying themes in the discussions on social media around mental health issues.
We use three different data sources. The first one is Global Mental Health Trends dataset. The second one is a Reddit dataset, which contains 25 different subreddits, but we only use 15 subreddit datasets which were relevant to us. Lastly, we're using the World Health Organization's Atlas dataset, which contains 165 different countries. This data didn't come in an easily accessible format, so in order for us to get this data, we had to scrape the links using a script. We then tried to fetch the fields from the PDFs, but we weren't able to fetch all of the fields. So we had to do some manual data validation for those. This data was then transformed using the PySpark library, and we performed filters, joins, and aggregations. This process dataset was then used to perform a couple of tasks. So on the data analytics side of things, we have the descriptive analytics and the inferential analysis. On the machine learning side of things, we performed topic modeling using bisecting k-means and LDA. We also formulated our own metrics, which we call the preparedness score for a country, which takes into account the number of hospitals, psychiatrists, nurses, government, budget, and programs, etc. We plotted our visualizations on Plotly, which helps us create interactive visualizations. We created a website using the Flask, and we incorporated the visualizations on the web app. We've hosted this website on Amazon's EC2 server, and it should be live when you are watching this video.
However, our project was not without its fair share of issues, the concerning one among which was data sparsity. Project Atlas did not have all countries reporting data for all metrics, and Global Health Data Analysis had data only from 1992 to 2017, which did not align with Project Atlas, which was based in 2020. And given that we're currently in 2023 and do not have data until 2023, the analysis may have been a bit skewed. However, considering all of this, let us still take a look at our website and the analysis that we have drawn up. So this is our website, and when we're viewing this, we must step out of the shoes of a data engineer and step into the shoes of a consultant who may be working with the NGOs or the WHO even when devising mental health campaigns or anti-stigma campaigns. So obviously they would first need to understand the mental health landscape. To that end, we first present a few trends in mental health problem growth by UN-defined regions, then take a deeper dive into specific countries. We also take a look at the global average trend for each mental health problem and the top and bottom 5 countries for each mental health problem. All of these give the consultant an idea of what country or region is plagued with what problem, and they can then advise campaign strategies accordingly. Some of our analyses are also present on the site itself as seen here, but we also leave the viewer to play with the graphs as they see fit by choosing different countries from different graphs that have that option, and then they can derive their own conclusions. We also take a look at the sex distributed mental problem prevalence in each country and generally observe that for most mental health problems, there were more reports by females than there were by males, leading to the idea that there aren't enough facilities to deal with these problems when they occur in women, or that males are either too scared to report or too unaware of their mental health problems to report these problems. This hints at the key finding that stigma is a very real construct and needs to be eliminated or dealt with via the campaign's design. We also took a look at how certain mental health problems are correlated to others and find that depression is strongly linked to eating disorders, drug use disorders, and anxiety, meaning that campaigns could be designed to jointly tackle all of these problems. Similar correlations can be found on this correlation graph, on this correlation heat map for other groups of problems too, which we leave the consultant or the viewer to find on their own. However, sometimes things take a turn for the worse, and the silent sufferer often resorts to taking their own lives. These statistics we try to visualize for the top and bottom 5 countries by average suicide numbers per 100,000 population, understanding that the bottom 5 countries could look to the top 5 countries and prepare accordingly. We also address the importance of the government and the community in the upkeep of good mental health in society. We find that the fact that with an increase in mental health expenditure by the government, the number of mental health workers will increase is not strongly supported by the data, as we do not see a strong correlation here. This leads to the explanation that there is a strong need for community and NGO support. There is also an exploration into the number of countries with and without a suicide prevention program, and the suicide statistics in these countries. However, apart from these statistics, there is also a need to understand themes from social media discussions, which we go into next.
All right, now let's take a look at these visuals conjured using NLP and machine learning techniques. The first is a visual on the subreddit depression. We see a lot of stigmatizing words like worthless, pathetic, lazy, and burden, with just worthless occurring in 3.2% of this post. Now, this insight could be translated into awareness campaigns that focus on educating the communities that depression manifests physiologically and chemically, and which is why the individual may experience energy loss and mood swings. On the suicide subreddit, we see that the word help occurs in almost 65.84% of posts, and words like family, friends, and need all occur alongside the word help. What this indicates is the importance of involving families in understanding and supporting the individual. This is further established in these word clouds, where words like family, friend, and help are all juxtaposed together with suicide ideation related words. Now, performing the same sort of topic modeling on the anxiety subreddit, we see that there is a diverse cluster of when and how people experience anxiety. We see medication anxiety, anxiety related to war, and anxiety related to flight. So on the medication anxiety, what this translates to is that campaigns need to address misconceptions around side effects and provide a safe space for medication related counseling. There are many more themes that we have uncovered and we have presented on this website, which we will allow you to go through.
All right, so having considered all of that, perhaps the key question that we need to ask ourselves is, are we ready? In the face of new mental health problems springing up every day and their prevalence increasing, how prepared are countries to really tackle these problems? To answer that question, we define a compound metric for preparedness that takes into account the existence or lack thereof of mental health programs, government's expenditures on mental health care, and infrastructural facilities. We calculate these score based on the 10th percentiles and score each of these categories, and then sum that to calculate the preparedness score. The distribution of this preparedness score by country and UN-defined regions is shown in this scatter plot here. We also present the total preparedness score of countries in different regions as bar charts, and we also show the top 5 and bottom 5 most and least prepared countries as per this preparedness score. We would advise, obviously, the bottom 5 countries to look to the top 5 countries and figure out what they're doing right and how they can better prepare for mental health disorders, or a surge in mental health disorders, rather. We understand that in a world where the pace of life seems to accelerate daily, the silent epidemic of these mental health problems is growing to be an urgent global concern. And we present our analysis of a certain few mental health concerns in this site here, but we understand that their mental health field is a very expensive field, and this analysis should be expanded to other mental health concerns as well. Given enough data, we will be able to incorporate that into our project, and hopefully this will turn this website into a comprehensive resource for NGO and WHO workers who want to devise mental health problems. We urge everyone to collaborate and contribute to this project. And for any queries, we may be reachable at the email addresses listed at the bottom of the website. With that being said, that was our entire presentation. We hope it was insightful, and we hope that we use big data appropriately to tackle a very growing concern in the world. Thank you for your time. This is Team ML signing out.